Hey, welcome back to episode 2 of the weekly drop. Thank you for all the support from last week. A lot of fun having the GMs on, realizing that they have no clue who the players are on anyone's roster, maybe even their own. It's Saturday the 24th. 3 days of combines have gone around. We're deep into the preseason, and I've got myself some standout rookies from last season. All DEs, all their first time playing in CSC. We're going to take a nice look back, see how last season went for these guys. Spoiler alert, it went pretty well. And let me just introduce the three I've got here. I've got Mystery from Greenhouse, fresh rebrand. I've got Rhino from Deadbeats, and I've got Eclipse from Wet, hot off of a trophy in Prospect in Season 14. Guys, thanks so much for coming on today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great to be here.
Let's go right into the content. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys were like doing CS-wise, I guess, before CSC, because a lot of people end up joining into CSC. It's like the first time that they play any kind of like coordinated CS in a real team environment. But I'm curious. I guess Mystery. Let's start with you, because with all due respect, you technically are the highest tiered player from a Challenge to Elite promo. A lot of people like play ESEA at this kind of like level, or they start to kind of get into it. Did you play ESEA beforehand, or was CSC really the first time that you had this kind of like organized experience coming in?
Yeah, CSC was actually the first time I've had any like real like structured team play level of CS. It was mostly just kind of pugging with friends, playing Face It, stuff like that. Yeah, so Antic from the UPS Prospect roster actually, he sent me the link to the Discord. I think in the middle of season 13, and then I just waited until season 14 and actually joined up. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much just pugging and playing Face It and Premiere and Comp. Not even really that much Face It actually, but just messing around with friends really.
Yeah. Rhino, same story for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I was pretty much just pugging with friends before this. Actually never touched Face It until CS2. So I don't have any games on CS:GO. So really even kind of new to Face It. But yeah, no team play, nothing like that. Just pugging with friends, pretty much.
And Eclipse?
Yeah, same thing. I played some Face It, but it was mainly comp and Premiere with friends. I play Rocket League, and I joined a Rocket League like organized league, and that kind of got me into looking into a CS one because I like CS way better. Um, so, but yeah, just playing with friends before this.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess let's go in the opposite order. So Eclipse, let's stay with you here. When you joined CSC last season, like what were your expectations for the league? Like what experience were you looking to kind of get out of it?
Well, I kind of just figured that like most of the people already in this had been playing like organized CS for a while, which now I realize that at least in my tier, that's not really the case. So I kind of thought I was just going to get dumpstered and potentially not even like really like it all that much. But actually ended up being a really cool environment. There's so much more than just playing every match day. There's so much events going on. There's so many cool people in the discords, and yeah, it's a lot more than what I actually expected. So
Yeah, Rhino.
Yeah. It was great, honestly. Very fun first season. I actually kind of same as Eclipse. I came from RSC. That's how I learned from C. That's how I learned about CSC. I played a lot of organized Rocket League and stuff. But so the expectations were kind of high, and they exceeded for me. The server's great. People are great. I play a lot of 10-mans. 10-mans are a lot of fun. I've been pugging out combines. Just a lot. The people are great.
For sure. And I guess Mystery.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know, I always played kind of more of like a support role, like just pugging with friends, and I always wanted, some sort of like team structured CS. So coming into this, honestly, I was pretty excited, and it yeah, honestly, it was a lot of fun, and just like actually being able to play in that type of environment was actually really beneficial too. So just for like my individual skill level. So yeah, it helped a lot.
Yeah. I guess I want to ask all of you guys, just in terms of the difference between just pugging and playing with your friends in CSC. Was there any sort of like mental switch that was required on your part? Because sometimes people talk about like, oh, I'm a support player, but like, is supporting different between supporting in a pug versus supporting like an actual team environment, or does a lot of it translate over pretty seamlessly?
Didn't translate over at all for me because my friends that I normally play with just hold W key. So it's honestly like pugging with them. It's more so just me baiting in the back, playing, trying to throw flashes and smokes while they're just running in. So yeah, it was quite a bit different. I actually swapped kind of roles too. Like just playing pugging, playing with friends is mostly like ops slash kind of support ish, if you want to call it that for pugging. But Antonio, he was our like captain IGL for our roster for season 14, and he kind of swapped me over to like first or second in with a rifle, and so it was a pretty big switch up for me. But yeah, honestly he helped me a lot with it, and it was a lot of fun. But it is even, not that Challenger or CSC is like uber competitive. It's still a big difference between pugging. So
Yeah, I guess Rhino or Clips, if you guys have anything to add on that.
Yeah.
uh,
Recruit was it did translate a little bit, but it also didn't because I've never done strategies, I've never done executions and stuff like that. So kind of like learning what smokes people know in different roles. Like I got thrown into the opera role and I really never opt much. I just kind of volunteered. So I ended up opping throughout the entire season and found out I love it. And learning smokes, flashes, pop flashes, and stuff. I found myself going into casual maps or workshop maps all the time and just working on it just because I wanted to get better for our team and stuff.
yeah, I mean, I've always felt like I knew more util, like playing like Face It and stuff than like the normal like pug player, just like kind of W keying in. And so kind of like what Mystery said, just playing with friends, like a lot of it's just, I mean, rush B on half the maps and then stuff like that. And so I'd be kind of
yep.
sitting back throwing flashes, trying to help in that way. And I realized that like I thought that I like the strategy aspects more of CS rather than just aim, because I don't consider myself like a great aimer. So if I go up against someone who's just a demon, training 8 hours a day on aim, then yeah, they're just gonna absolutely put me in the ground. So I tried to find up that like make up that ground with util, and I was like, you know what? I need like a more organized way of play, like more team play, because I loved watching pro CS, and obviously I know I'm not anywhere near that level, but just having that same kind of experience of like having a team that you can consistently play with, learn off each other, learning more util and strategy with the game. It brings so many other aspects to the game as opposed to just like a different COD where you're just running in and shooting people.
Yeah, so several of you guys have touched on this like strategy aspect that's more present in CSC. Um, how did you guys contribute to that, right? Because I mean, I pulled all three of you guys because you guys all had relatively good seasons. I think you know the league wise speaking, from like a record standpoint, and also like how deep you went in playoffs, so to speak. But I guess like Eclipse, just to expand on that point, like was that like VOD review for you guys, or was that like everyone gets in the same like practice server and then like you hash out takes, or like how did it manifest itself basically in that sense?
Yeah, so at first, like the first couple weeks of the season, I had no clue what the hell was going on. I had no idea what to do to like learn and get better and stuff like that. But luckily, I had a couple pretty good guys on my team, Shade and Pivo. Shade is my captain, and then Pivo is just really he's been here for quite a few seasons as far as I know, pretty experienced. And I realized how little I actually know about strategy and util and stuff because of them. Because I mean, even as prospect players, they at least know a lot of util on all the maps. They know strategies of just like defaulting and different ways to push sites that I would have never thought about before. And so just like hearing them talk about those things and yeah, a lot of it was just us going on maps together and like mainly them teaching util or all of us watching a video about like a strategy and trying to execute it in our own fashion. There's things like that. It was just like being together as a team consistently, just spending time together. We kind of all learned what we like to do, who's the best in what position for any given strategy, any given take. Um, so yeah, I think just like experience and time together, because the more time we spent together, we just got way better as a team, and that's kind of what I was looking for. But just individually as a player too, I learned a lot from those guys and just from being around a team CS mindset.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think CSC for a lot of people it does like you guys were saying, it kind of scratches that itch that I think a lot of people have. Is like you see pro CS, it's like wow, like these timings are cool, like wow, these setups are cool, and then you try and run it and face it, and it's like wow, my teammates are like actually the worst people in humankind. Like I can't win with these cats, so on and so to speak. Um, so I do think it's interesting as well because to me it kind of feels like it's a self-selecting community. Like all of us want to get better at the game. Like all of us maybe already know some of the smokes and the util required to get into it. Maybe, like I know a couple of you guys have mentioned, like Rhino, you were like, oh, I'm going to grind these comp maps. It's like those
Hmm.
workshop maps that like give you the lineups. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to grind these, get better. So that way, like my team can benefit off of it. But like, it does feel like CSC brings in a lot of like-minded people, right? Like I'm sure, I'm not going to force you guys to call anyone out, but it doesn't feel like anyone's teams will have a player who is like, yeah, util sucks. Like I'm not learning shit. Like flash me in.
Creep,
Yeah.
Reap. Uh-oh.
creep, calling them out. Average unused util of like $500 a game. No, but no, honestly, Creep's he's really cool. He's just an aimer and forgets about his util half the time. But yeah, no, it definitely felt like that. The big thing with AP last season too was I think everyone has played a handful of seasons already, so they kind of already know like because the big thing for me was like the actual like team play aspect and like trading each other properly and stuff like that. Um, which again, Antonio was a huge help for me with that. And then, so yeah, honestly, like when it comes to practice and scrim and stuff like that, we actually really didn't do much of it. But it was still, yeah, I mean, part of that though was like I said, everyone else on the team has been playing numerous seasons and ESEA. So at least for Challenger, barring a couple teams, it was, we were able to get away with that um, pretty comfortably. But we also had a lot of just really good aimers on the team. So and Antonio in the background, just he was probably a big reason. I don't mean to keep glazing him, but he was a big reason why my stats were as good as they were. Personally, just he was constantly setting me up for success. So and he sacrificed his stats for mine. So but it was a lot of fun actually, like being in that role instead of me sacrificing my stats for my friends to W key in and die on A site vertigo and pugs. But yeah, it was honestly it was great. It was a lot of fun, and just like you said, kind of having those like-minded people. Everyone coming in and at least knowing some or a majority of kind of standard util sets, and then kind of workshopping some here and there. Or if someone finds something, then we kind of chat back and forth, and hey, we want to do this or do that, and just kind of experimenting a little bit. And yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been sitting here, talking about aim like aim is just straight for pug players, but like
Yeah.
at some point you have to learn how to aim too. And like I
Yeah.
realized that was my other two teammates. So I mentioned Shade and Pivo for like teaching me util and stuff, but my other two teammates, Z and Miklo, um, they're just aim demons, bro. Especially Z. We would do like retakes before every single match day for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'd be playing retakes, and Z would just fucking destroy me every single time. I couldn't peak this kid for like 5 match days in a row when we were playing in the season. I would just get destroyed, and I was just getting demotivated before every match. To be honest, I was like, this dude's just way better than me, and so like that alone just made me like get better at aim. I actually like started paying attention to like what he did, what Miklo did, and what like the best aimers did in our tier to try and like figure out how to get better. Because I mean, before I just saw aim as like who can flick to whose has head first whenever you both peak. But I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. Um, it's just like a different kind of aim, in my opinion, that you need for like organized CS, if that makes sense. Like just being able to hold angles better. The positioning is a lot of it too, but
Yeah, no, it definitely is a big part of it.
Speaking of, I guess this transitions nicely because it is combine season. So I don't know if you guys have gotten any combine games in yet, but obviously, like a lot of people do, or not a lot of people, like every franchise is scouting right now, obviously because draft's coming up. You guys were all DEs last season. I guess if I had to ask, like, how was your combine experience last season?
Combines are a weird one, because it's like last season coming into combines. It honestly, my expectations for CSC were pretty high, and to be totally honest, combines kind of knocked that down a little bit. Just because it's kind of it's very puggy, and everyone's kind of out to make sure that their stats look good, and still win at the time, but at the same time, but it is most people kind of trying to pad their stats a little bit. So it was a little disappointing, honestly, but like it was still fun meeting new people, and like I still pug with some of the people that I met in combines. So like that aspect's a lot of fun, but it is kind of a totally different animal than like actually playing in the regular season. So yeah, it's fun though. Like I said, you meet cool people, and like I said, I still pug with quite a few people that I met in combines from last season, and but it's a different animal.
Yeah, Rhino, did you feel the same way kind of season? Because I know recruit always goes hard in combines. I swear.
I loved combines.
Yeah.
I had a great time in combines. Just the recruit people are so much fun. I mean, it is a little puggy, like Mystery said, but I tried out a ton of different roles in combines. Like I IGL'd my very first match ever, and it actually went good. Actually called some stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to me. Had like a lot of people like wanted to try different roles and such. And wanted to win. So it was a lot of fun to me.
Yeah, because I have the secret sauce. I can always see like the combines when they pop as an AGM, and I swear to God, every night.
Recruits goes to like 3 a.m. every time.
How?
Like they are like they had last combines. There were 2 queues at 3 a.m.
That's
Like
crazy.
there were 20 people fucking pugging and combines. It was crazy.
I'm
That's
telling you,
nuts.
like they're built different down.
They are. Yeah, I've been doing like 2 or 3 a night. I think I have like 8 total right now. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I
Yeah.
think someone last season did 43 combines in recruit.
I think Sasha played like 22 or 25 or something like that, and I
Shout
thought
out
that was
Brass
a
there.
lot. But
Yeah,
Z's
Brass
going for the
Fizz it.
record.
insane.
Z's going for the record in Tindy, bro. I think he's played like 19 so
Oh
far.
my.
Jesus.
At that point, it's
But-
not going to be. It's like going to be like people not queuing into Z. That's going to.
Yeah, shout out Brass. I see that in chat. 48, season 3,
That is
Holy.
crazy.
That's crazy.
season
I,
13.
I'll say last season combines for me, like it was definitely a wake up call because that kind of fueled the whole idea of like I don't think I'm actually gonna be able to compete here in this environment because I played my first three prospect combines, which where I got placed like originally. I did not do good. So much so that I got demoted to recruit after 3 combines, and yeah, I was like, dang, this ain't gonna go good. But luckily, I played well enough. I played a couple recruit combines. I don't remember how many, but I played well enough to go back up into prospect. But yeah, it was like I don't know. It's kind of an eye opener to just how many people care more about winning in
Mhm.
this kind of environment and like will do whatever. Especially like playing like the teammates I had, like just the comms, the always someone trying to IGL and stuff. I just tried to do something. I tried to be useful. I tried to throw flashes for people and just, you know, make a name for myself a little bit, but I didn't do the greatest job of that. So it was definitely hard for me switching over.
Can relate to that. I'm pretty sure I got numbers reported. I got placed in elite originally, and I think I got numbers reported after my 3rd combine down to challenger. So,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
okay. Charlie's the place to be because
yeah.
your
Honestly,
chat is better.
not to cut you off, but honestly, looking back at it, like I think it was probably better for me to go down to Chally and like especially meet some of the guys on the team that, like I said, just kind of helped me out. And you're not, I wasn't just getting fried in the server while like trying to learn some of the actual aspects of like team Counter Strike. So honestly, looking back, I think it was probably really good for me to play in Chally first. So
Yeah. Do you? I guess Eclipse and then Mystery. Like when you guys move between tiers, do the combines feel different between tiers, or is it all kind of just the same like pug
Did
nonsense
for
of like?
me, for sure. I actually I love telling the story because like prospect combines, like I said, I was getting destroyed like just from just the aim demons that are in there, which they're probably not great to higher tiers, but to me, you know, they're way better than me. But then when I went down to recruit, the first recruit game I played, there was I don't know who it was, and I would never name drop them, but there was someone that didn't even know like how to open the door on Nuke, and they were like asking questions on like basic controls. I'm like, I don't know what's going on down here. But then there was another dude on my team who was just another like aim demon. It was just like night and day. Like I don't know. Recruit's a wild place to be. Rhino,
Recruit's a very wild place.
I don't know. I don't know how you do it, bro.
I think we have like a level 8 or something in recruit right now, or like a level
That's
7.
well, that's what it felt like. Like it was
Yeah.
like everybody was either a demon or they were just like clueless, and it was so crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess prospect's kind of the same thing, to be honest. But there definitely was
yeah,
a difference.
I was kind of curious how you guys like your guys' perspective on combines because it feels like, and I've heard this also, but when you get into like Chally Elite Premier combines, it's people I don't know kind of care a little bit less, just like are there running around half the time. But
W key.
I had like I had because Elite and Prim get merged a lot, and we had a Prim player. Again, I won't call him out, but I think he was on the phone the whole time, and just like getting through the combines, through the 3 matches, and just didn't care, um, which kind of sucked. But again, it's combines. I think when you get to the higher elo, especially for players that are already signed, they kind of want to get the 3 over with and be done with it.
Yeah, there is a pretty popular meme. It's always like, yeah, from like a GM standpoint, whenever we have returning players, we always tell them like, oh, just get your 3 and then stop because of like MMR purposes. But I don't, I don't think, I don't know, Kono, voice from above. Like, do you agree with that take? Because I feel like it's worth playing just to get your name out there a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not worth it for like that aspect and to meet people.
Yeah.
Like that, like I said, that was kind of my biggest takeaway from combines from season 14. It was like meeting people and like I said, I still pug with some of the guys from that I played with in combines, but it definitely feels like when you get towards the higher tiers, there's, and not everyone, but there's you just run into it more often of people just kind of want to get their 3 done and be on with it.
I mean, at the very least, everyone does get drafted, right? So like, no matter what,
Yeah.
you do have a chance, to make a team, even if you don't really show out in combine. So that is a nice kind of thing about CSC. Cause that's kind of how I felt. I was just like, all right, I'm on a team. Not to mention there was 10 players that are on the on the wet prospect roster at the beginning of preseason.
Prospect is huge.
Yeah, it was
Prospect is
terrifying. I
huge.
can't lie.
There's always been talk of like, or I guess not talk, but like the running joke always is just like Prospect doesn't have enough teams, and it's like some point we're just gonna have like 30 Prospect teams, and then every other team will have like 20 top. And I don't know. I think at some point they need to start giving like alternative teams. Like, I think West should just get a sister franchise called like Dry or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've
That'd be
heard
funny.
talks of like conferences. I don't know, something to do with conferences in it, which would be kind of neat. But I still think it's there's a lot of people in Prospect and Contender, but I wouldn't think there'd be quite enough for that. But I don't know. Maybe.
Conferences would be cool if it got to
It'd be
like
cool.
like 24 teams. Maybe would be like the starting point. I don't know.
mean, it'd definitely be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about it. I've just heard it through the grapevine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Same.
I think I heard that too.
Yeah. Kono and I have been pushing for a recruit team. We're still not successful, so please keep us in your thoughts and prayers. When
I'll
we
push for it.
On day number 46 now, I believe.
You've definitely missed a couple of days.
Oh, dude, I've been asking for months. Those are just the days that I
Give
remember.
this man a recruit team. Come on.
Also, Kono, I know on the franchise page itself, it's just like a placeholder, but what's the recruit team's name actually going to be?
It'd be the Goofy Goobers.
That's that. Really? That was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about
We
that.
got the
W name.
We'll have a chat after the episode, but
Who? Okay, but like if you're in recruit, who would not want to play for the Goofy Goobers?
I'd want
Would
to
you
play
not?
for the
I-
Goofy Goobers.
I would want to play for the Goobers, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't fit the slime theme at all, but
It's a goober. What do you mean?
oh, see, this is why I just yap and I don't think.
Everyone wants to be a Goofy Goober.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I see the vision now.
Just sing the Goofy Goober song the entire
Yeah.
match day.
Uh-huh.
They instantly have a theme song.
Exactly.
That is critical to team morale. I want to ask, last season when you guys came in, I know Rhino mentioned a little bit about playing 10s, but did anyone else end up playing a lot of those Face It 10s when they came into the league, or was it just combines or bust for you guys? Because that was just like, you have to play combines, you don't necessarily have to play 10s.
It wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't necessarily like any specific reason. I just didn't really play 10s. I think I'd played a couple and they were pretty sweaty, honestly. And I was like, I'm kind of just trying to chill, and just play some Counter-Strike. So yeah, I've only done a handful of 10s, but I know it's kind of a weird mix of like recruit players, like Tim the big one. He's always asking everyone to play 10s.
Yeah,
So it's a
TB1.
weird. Yep, TB1. He's great, man. I love that.
Yeah,
man.
great guy.
But yeah, so it's a weird mix of like recruit and then like Big Z and Holy Lamb, just elite Prem players. So I don't know, it's a weird mix. I think like the guys that are always doing 10-mans, they're there mostly to have fun, but the few experiences I've had with them are pretty sweaty. So I was like, man, I think I'm done with 10s for now, but we do them. Every once in a while, Tim will convince me.
I think for me, like right away, I kind of saw Prospect as like my skill level that I wanted to fit into for the first season. So once I played those recruit combines and got back into Prospect, I was terrified of playing anything else until the draft because I did not want to move. I didn't want to move anywhere, so I didn't touch anything else until I got drafted.
Could you imagine if your events influenced your MMR? Like last night, Rockin'
Oh my
won
gosh.
the Melee tournament. It's like, yeah, no, you're getting promoted to like talent.
Straight to Premier.
You're like too good on the sticks. Like, you can't just be contender. And
Those
also-
things
also,
are moving too fast.
Stacked on multiple games, you got to go higher.
yeah. Imagine if you
Uh,
could just like numbers report someone's like, yeah, I found their like secret Valorant account. Like this guy's like secretly top 1,000 NA.
yeah,
Like
this guy's
up you
radiant,
go. Yeah,
top 50 radiant.
just
Well,
checked him
on
straight
the
in.
other hand, I played a ton of 10 mans before combines, before the season. It was a lot of fun. I got dogged on um, by a lot of people, but just meeting the people around the server, getting better by watching when I die first, because I'm recruit. I die first. I'm watching my teammates. I learned some smoke lineups. Like I learned some pot flashes. I learned a really good one on nuke for retakes. Like just watching better people than me has made me better. And getting dogged on by better people has made me better. So yeah, it's been fun.
I feel that you can learn a lot from the spectate screen.
Yeah, I have learned a lot from the spectate stream, and even just watching pro. Like before getting into CSC, I rarely watched pro. Um, One of my buddies from RSC invited me to this server. It was the Paris tournament where Vitality won. That was like the very first pro tournament I really watched. And I've been watching pretty much everyone since then. Um, so I've learned a ton just from joining our CSE. So.
Uh, any advice you would give your season 14 version before they started playing combines? Because obviously we've got a new DE draft class. You guys, as per like contractually speaking, you guys are all tied to your teams, unless you guys like promote like past, into a tier your franchise doesn't have one in.
Mhm.
Like, is there anything you would say for like the current DE pool, um, to like maybe make their combine experience better?
Yeah.
Yeah. You go. You
um,
go.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like I'm just dogging on combines, but I don't know, I'm not. But it's like I said earlier, combines is kind of a whole different animal from the regular season. I mean, it's pretty common for people to not play that well in combines, or at least rating wise or statistically not have the best stats in combines. But when you get into the regular season, it is kind of a different animal, and because you start playing consistently with your team or your teammates, and so I mean it's pretty common for people to play not well in combines from what I've seen, and just pop off in the regular season. So if you're not having the best combines, it's not the end of the world. It's you know, it's still it'll work out.
For me, I'd say communicate with teammates because I like if something's going bad or not going my way, I found myself getting really quiet. Um, and my shout out Rex, my IGL and Rymaster, my captain, they told me to speak up when I'm being quiet. Um, and just little comms and stuff, just calm stuff out. People will find you. They know that you're talking. So yeah.
Yeah, how I think of it is like even if you're doing bad, combines or regular season it really applies to both. Even if you're doing bad, if you're constantly calming everything, you're still helping more than if you were just doing bad and saying nothing. So you're still kind of helping your team out in a way.
For sure. Let's transition now because it sounds like all of you guys had a better time in the regular season than you did in combine.
For sure. For
Let's
sure.
let's talk just how it went last season. Obviously, I'm gonna start with the obvious answer. Eclipse, you have a PNG of a trophy next to your name. Talk to me. How was last
Woo-hoo!
season on Web Prospect?
Uh, it was honestly a big roller coaster because, like I said, beginning of the season, I was not doing very great. I actually almost got cut after like match day 3. Um, so because I feel like I barely made it out of the whole preseason roster mess of making the actual team, and part of that was also because Mechatronic got moved up to play in contender or like brought up to play on the contender team, and so I was like the only opper left. Um, but yeah, no, the first few match days, I couldn't really give you an exact timeline. It was just kind of rough. Just learning the team CS. It's a different animal. It really is in the regular season. Once everybody's starting to get their chemistry together and they're like full teams, if you face a team that's been playing together even for a couple weeks and they've practiced before match days, after match days, on different other days, and they just know like a bunch of strategies, setups, util, it's it's hard to play against. It really is. And being like opping, I've always loved opping in CS. I loved it a lot more in CS:GO, but whatever. Um, but like opping and like pugs is so different because you're not getting all this util spammed and thrown at you, and you're not constantly getting just thrown off of angles and stuff like that. And so like learning that difference in team CS was such a big change for me. Like I really thought about just like not opping anymore because I felt like I wasn't bringing the value that an opper should be bringing. I mean, I got the most expensive gun on the team. Like I gotta be, putting work in with it. Um, but yeah, then later in the season, it kind of just a lot of the problems just started panning out, and um, we got more chemistry together. Like I said, my teammates helped me a lot with learning util sets and kind of making myself more useful besides just using the op. Um, and then yeah, the playoffs we just went off. So I don't know.
Would you say there was like a specific moment in that like mid-season time frame where it like kind of clicked, or was it like you said, like it just as you kept working through it, you put in the hours, like it just started to make more sense?
Uh, I I feel like there was a point, but I probably couldn't really tell you what it is. I think actually we had I don't remember what match day it was, like 4 or 5, where we went like 13-11 on Ancient. Like it was a really close game against, I believe, HG. Um, and like just the end of that game and playing such a tight, like, stressful game at that point. I think it was like 10-10, then 11-11, and then we won 2 in a row to win the game. Playing such a close game at that point with a team that gave us a lot of issues throughout the whole game was like, I don't know. It felt really good to like come out on top in that super close win, because before I think we were just either like winning by a lot, or I think we lost our first match day, which I didn't play. But like having that close game was, to me, just kind of eye opening to like wanting to learn more and wanting to win. It's I don't really know. I don't really know how else to explain it besides that, but just like I guess at that point I started learning more util, getting on more like practice maps, and um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Rhino, did you have something similar like that? Because I know, regular season for you guys was a little up and down, but
Oh,
you guys ended up winning out the last three to make playoffs.
yeah.
Did you have something similar to that? Like it just kind of it worked, or was it more of like maybe say a change in individual play style that helped you see success?
Honestly, we just kind of put in the work at the end. I think it was match day 6 I think it was 7. We lost 13-0 to the ATL recruit team, and we got absolutely destroyed on Vertigo. Right after that match, we put in the work. Started doing a lot more stuff outside of matches, practices, and stuff like that. Um, Shout out Rex for keeping our heads up for that. That match day was very rough. Um, but yeah, ended up winning out. Made it to playoffs. Had a very rough first map. We lost 13-11, and I dropped, I think, 30 something kills. So it was very rough. But yeah, it was a great season. In the beginning, it was a little bit rocky. First 3 match days, learning everyone's play style and such. Gotten in a little bit of a groove, and then fell off, and then pounded out at the end. So
And I think I think personally, like the first season that you're in CSC, like when especially because again, none of you guys have come in from any sort of like playoff experience, but you do feel that like experience build, because I know Mystery, like same story with you guys, like had a really strong regular season, won out the last match day to actually secure a top 4, right? I think you guys were the 3
Yeah,
seed
I think
going in it.
we ended the season on a 5 or 6 game win streak. I think
Yeah,
we
but
we
then
started 3-3 and then won out, but yeah,
yeah, and then playoffs was a bit of a
playoffs was
stinker.
kind of opposite of Eclipse. His story. It was, yeah. We came up against Cal. Cal's one of those teams. I think their core had been playing together for a season or two, and I think Avson's a pretty good aimer, but they're one of those teams that just like strategize really heavy, and they all know really good util. None of them are like demon aimers, but they just all play super well off of each other, which was just not a good fit for how we were playing. And then I also just really didn't play well, which didn't help. But yeah, so they were one of those teams, and they got us. They got us pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't want to drag you guys over it because you know, one, that's rude, and two, it's not like I actually have a platform to stand on. But I think, going around, like, what what experience or what knowledge have you guys kind of gotten from that playoff series, right? I guess mystery. Let's go back again. What did you said? Cal was playing a lot more coordinated, a lot more tight knit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Is that something that like you're as you go into your second season now, like, are you going to advocate for more of that play style, or like are you going to take pieces and bits from that, or how is that going to work out?
Definitely pieces and bits. I mean, they went pretty extreme with that type of play style, but I think it just fit them really well. Um, yeah, I mean, our team was Antonio was kind of the mastermind, and then um, everyone else had been playing for a few seasons or been playing ESEA, so they kind of just knew how to play for the most part. So we just didn't have to. Um, like I said, in the regular season, it kind of just worked out. And we didn't really have to do a bunch of VOD review and practice. And you know, coming up against a team like Cow, it kind of bit us in the butt a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think there's value in taking that kind of aspect from Cow. But I also think it's just it varies heavily on the team that you have. Like I said, like Nixer and Creep, they were kind of on most maps played together on a site, and they just played really well off of each other. Air, we kind of were setting him up for failure for the probably first half of the season. So once we kind of shifted some roles around after a couple bad losses on Vertigo, he started really coming into his own, and then Zed Antonio just kind of always setting me up to get to, all the time. So um, yeah, I definitely think the practice, especially when you get into the higher tiers, at least personal experience at the higher tiers, I think it pays off quite a bit.
Yeah, and I guess Rhino, just bounce back to you. Like, what lessons would you have taken out of that playoff experience?
Um, I would say to not give up after a tough first map because we really, I guess, didn't give up, obviously, but we were definitely down on ourselves after losing 13-11 in the first map, and we lost like 13-6 or 7 on Ancient the second map. It just really wasn't even close. Um, I would say like just saying you're not out of it and really I guess talking because we did not talk that second Ancient game much. I mean, we still calmed and stuff like that, but like strats were not what we normally do, and Ancient was one of our best maps. Pretty sure it was our pick too.
Yeah, I was about to say, was
Um,
it, you know,
yeah, I think that was our pick,
yeah.
and we couldn't do anything about it. Um, the AVI team was very well put together. Um, their opper, I forget who he was getting me quite a bit. That Mirage game though, I was popping. But Razor, I think it was Razor. Razor had me on that second map. But yeah, we did a ton of VOD reviews for that playoffs. A couple times before that. So we definitely did our homework, but it didn't pay off.
I guess, and I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah, no worries.
There's been some talk about best of two, best of three match days. Do you guys feel like that would better CSC because it gives, just say, the league a chance to experience kind of like the fact that you have to play two maps in a row? Because right now it's like kind of like a best of two, right? Like you have a scrim, but like some people, like the mentality is way different in the
Yeah.
scrim than it is in a match day. you know. And there's been some proposals, like some people are like, oh, the scrim's kind of useless because of that, right? Like it's just basically glorified aim practice. Some people say like, oh, but we need the scrim, obviously, because not everyone can make a full schedule. But I'm curious from like a player perspective if you guys think like best of two. I think best of three is too long. You've been
Yeah.
playing until midnight
For
Eastern.
for
Like maybe
normal match days, best of three is too long.
yeah, for like
Yeah.
regular match days, like would you guys personally be in favor of a best of two, or do you guys prefer the scrim and then best of one match day?
Uh,
I mean, personally, I don't really mind. I don't really mind like a scrim and then a match. Honestly, like I know everyone kind of calls CSC a beer league. I don't really think most people actually treat it like a beer league, but just yeah, just being like a no actual reward type league, a for fun league. I think it honestly might hurt the player base if they start kind of demanding too much
yeah.
play time. Honestly, and like I said, ultimately at the end of the day, it is a for fun league, and I know personally I have fun by winning, as do a lot of people. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't mind how it's structured right now. And I know I talk with some of the premier guys, and I know just because the tier isn't nearly as big as the other tiers, I think they for the most part do double or like best of twos, double match days. And I know they're not the biggest. Well, at least the few that I've talked to aren't exactly the biggest fans of it. But premier is kind of a weird animal. They kind of have to. And like you said with the scrims, it honestly, I mean it sort of is like a glorified aim practice, but for a team like ours where we didn't really scrim or like practice too much outside of the scrim before the match, the scrim honestly did help quite a bit, especially if we kind of knew what map we were likely to play against the team we were playing in the actual match. So, and then I know with West Coast too, if there's any West Coasters, it'd be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Doing best of twos. So I don't mind how it's structured right now, honestly.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the like we are speaking about best of two. You mean like both of them counting towards like regular season matches, like both counting it towards your record?
Yeah, so instead of your record being say like I think a recruit played 11 games, so like instead of it being like 6-5, it'd be like 11 and 11 potentially off of like match days.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay.
There's like a lot of logistical stuff to also work out because it's like, is it a best of two against the same team?
Yeah, that.
Is it like two best of ones but against two different teams, right? Because like, what if one game goes to like quad OT? It's like, well, I'm sitting here for like 45 minutes,
Yeah, exactly.
also
You
going
you,
cold.
Yeah.
But if you
you
play a best of
can't.
two against the same team, it's like a 5 minute gap in between. Okay, like it's not as difficult to coordinate, so to speak. But um, I mean, there are a lot of ideas being thrown around. I personally like would like to see a best of two, but I don't think it's like feasible for the league, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I was just curious because we don't play a lot of best of threes, and like Rhino mentioned, it's really important not to kind of like deflate yourself after that first like a bad first
Yeah,
map.
we were fully defeated.
Yeah, but like as it stands right now, like if you have a bad map for best of one, you just sleep on it, review the next day, and then you go into the Thursday match day, or like an even better scenario, right? Like you'd have the weekend to prep,
Mhm.
you know. Um, but I also recognize that like player experience matters a lot more than just
Yeah. I,
some teams' mentals.
I do think there's a solution there. I'm not that I have one or would know that, but I think there is like um, something there. Maybe like preseason, uh, like putting a bit more effort into preseason, like the league putting a bit more effort into preseason because preseason's kind of awkward, just because it's I think the first two match days you still allowed up to 7 players on the roster. Third match day, after the third match day, you have to cut down to 5. So it's a lot of like swapping players in and out, which I do I understand just with how the league is structured, but it's I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain because you get out of the preseason after everyone's kind of fighting for their spot, and then just don't have that much prep time going into the actual season. So I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of workaround or some way to do that differently. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, now that I actually understand it and have thought about it, I'm not a big fan of a best of two idea because I'm a big fan of like upsets and they should kind of like matter more, and I feel like it would take away from like the importance of being upset, I guess, if you were able to just bounce back as a better team and just beat them, because I feel like a worse team, like if they're a way worse team than the team they're facing and they win that first match and they just lose the second one, it kind of, negates part of being upset like that, if that makes sense. Like I feel like just having one match, it's like, okay, you just lost to a worse team and you have one loss on your record, you don't get a win as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think the best of ones are the move. The only thing that I would recommend, I love the best of five finals. I
Same.
I think best of five finals would be amazing. Um, I love the best of threes for everything else in playoffs, but I definitely think finals should be a best of five. Start a little bit early, just for one match day. I don't think people would be that mad if they have to take a little bit of time off or something like that for an earlier match day. But yeah, I think finals best of five would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, you've got a ringing endorsement from the author of that series suggestion. I hope Blitzer has called you a W idea.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And my
I, I,
GM saying hell no.
I worry. I worry for the casters who get that assignment. I could already hear like just the coarse voice on map 5 is
Oh
like
my gosh.
it would be like because VDC, like the original inspiration for it, I think Blitzer got was from VDC, who plays the best of 5 finals, and
Mhm.
my tiers finals went. I think I have to check how long the stream was, but it went all 5 maps, and the losing team on every map got double digits. So it
Oh
wouldn't
my
shock me
god.
if I wouldn't shock me if it was like a 4.5 hour stream.
Yeah.
It was a bit ridiculous, but at the same time, I mean, it was a lot of it was very interesting to watch. I don't want to call it a lot of fun because I'm a sicko. I don't mind playing like that competitive like aspect for 5 maps, but I know it tires a lot of people out. And like
Oh,
you could start a
100%.
series at 8 Eastern and go all the way to midnight. It would be like just insane behavior.
Yeah, I feel like like I would like best of five finals. Like I do think it'd be really cool, especially like the contender finals for season 14. If that one was a best of five, that would have been pretty insane. Um, but I don't know. I feel like just logistically it would be too awkward or to actually have everyone show up on on a regular match day, like a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like if it was something that everyone could agree to like meeting on a Saturday and you start a little earlier at, noon or 4 p.m., 5 p.m., something like that, I think would be really cool. But I don't know. I think logistically it would just be really awkward on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Because I know
I agree with that, yeah.
I recently switched jobs, so I go in a little bit later now. But for most of the regular season, I was getting up at 5. I'm Central, so I'm an hour behind EST. But I was having to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So even doing just regular match days and not being done till 10 o'clock or so my time, it takes its toll. It would be hard. So especially even I think someone in the chat said like a scrim and then a best of two during the regular season, or even a best of five. I don't know. I think logistically it's just a little awkward on a regular match day, or on a day during the week.
Yeah, I definitely
So
think the best of three is definitely the moderate in the middle.
for how it's set up right now, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, on a weekday it should never be a best of five. But I do like the idea of like pushing it to a Saturday if possible with like
I
all the
would,
players
I
and best of
I
yeah,
think it
five.
would
I
be
would absolutely love that.
I
Yeah,
think what Blister said in chat, push the finals to the weekend. If teams can't do it, do a best of three instead. Like maybe have a
yeah,
choice. If you
Yeah,
want to play more CS, you can.
Yeah. There's
yeah.
also the grand final, and it's like obviously you can't reschedule it for like 3 weeks later, but like
Yeah.
there is some leeway. Like obviously, like officially speaking, a lot of the stuff can't happen until that grand final gets played. But behind the scenes work takes up a lot of it as well in terms of
yeah,
coordinating, say like staff elections or whatever. And like as soon as the grand final finishes, you could just hit go. I feel.
Yeah.
Obviously, kind of talking out of my ass right here, but I don't. There would be like a decent amount of leeway to reschedule. Um, that CSC or that match to the weekend if both teams would agree on it. Um,
Yeah, a lot of people are doing stuff on weekends, I think.
That's
There's
true.
obviously no work. Doing stuff during the nights and stuff like that. So
Yeah. But
Yeah,
like,
like
you just
that.
need to
I
find
mean,
people on your team that don't have lives.
yeah, exactly.
true, true.
Like, that's the barometer of success.
Like we
Yeah.
would do like I think a couple times we did a Saturday night practice at 11 p.m.
Holy shit.
Like yeah, we had weird practice times and weird pugging times, but like it's what worked for us. Like
Wait
and
till you get
we
on.
just loved playing.
Wait till you get on an ESEA team. It's all
Oh
over the place a
jeez.
lot of the time, man. Because that's like, there is like an actual reward and bragging rights and moving up
Yeah.
into, IM or advanced, etc. And so yeah, people they take it a lot more seriously. So you will have to sacrifice some weekend time for ESEA.
I'm for it. I love CS, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it personally, but
Yeah.
kind of going back to the, quote unquote beer league, or CSC being a quote unquote beer league, it is kind of hard to really ask people for more than what they initially signed up to.
Yeah, 100%.
And,
They already do give enough time during the week,
yeah,
stuff like
and
that.
especially like the staff implications, and the behind the scenes work. I mean, everyone's doing it on their own volition, on their own time. It's a pretty big ask to kind of do a lot of the changes, and I think they're already doing really good. I mean, they made quite a few changes just this season, especially with like the media. So it's kind of hard to really ask for much more than what's already being given for fun league essentially.
Yeah.
Personally, like I said, I love playing CS, so I
Oh
would do
yeah.
it. But it's not
Oh
everyone,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
not everyone
Not
feels
everyone's on the same page.
yeah. So.
Well, just get good at the game and then don't play it. Yeah. All right. I guess. Any last thoughts about how last season went before we move on to the game show part? I guess let's just go across in a line. Mystery. Any last words for season 14?
Rubaiyat, thanks for the shout out in your article. That was a big moment for me. Even though I kind of it went to my head, started shitting the bed a little bit. But that was pretty cool. And then honestly, yeah, just AP as a franchise, or Greenhouse now that they've rebranded. Chip was really fun to play for. He's a really good dude. A really good GM. So. Um, and the AGMs as well. Druby and Laws now got selected. So Laws is great. I think he's going to do really well in that AGM spot, even though he took it from me. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun though. Honestly, it was a blast. So looking forward to season 15.
Right now.
Yeah, I fully did not expect to be on DB, but wouldn't have it any other way. Digital's a great guy. Everyone at DB is great. Prospect people helping us out and everything. Shout out Rex, our IGL, and Rymaster, our captain. They made everything great. Definitely smooth, and looking forward to next season. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And Eclipse.
Yeah, I will say I talked about like all the struggles that I personally had in regular season. It's a lot easier to deal with those struggles when you have two top 5 MVP candidates on your team, with Z and Miklo. So I appreciate the carry fellas into the first seed and the chip. But yeah, no, I love our franchise drip. Bort and Slatong really helped me kind of just get acquainted with the league and with Team CS as a whole, and um, made it feel really comfortable being on drip. And then Shade, our IGL and captain, appreciate all the work that he did, because that man did all the VOD reviews, did all the prepping for teams, and then just came in on match days and just told us everything that he found out or looked into. Um, he did a lot of the dirty work for us, for our team, with just preparing for matches as a whole. So
I do want to shout out Dr. Fury as well, because he did a lot of that for our team. He watched a lot of VODs. Had like a whole spreadsheet of where everyone's playing on each map and stuff like that. He did a lot of info stuff. So, shout out him as well.
Okay. Well, as someone who's been playing just marginally longer than all of you guys, I'm really happy to hear that like you guys had a fun time at CSC. It's such a fun league. It's just so fun to play with different people and also just get to meet people. Hopefully we can get the yapping up a little bit more. That's always my specialty.
There's a lot of yapping going
Yeah.
on in recruit, man.
Okay.
There's a lot of yapping.
Speaking of yapping, Kono, I think it's time. So last week I owned the GMs with who he played for. And this week I figured I'd make it a little bit simpler on you guys because you guys don't have that much responsibility. We're going to play higher or lower in CSC or for the weekly drop. So I'm just going to show you two things, okay? And you just need to tell me what side is higher or lower. Okay, let's just say higher or use an arrow. Okay. Or we'll figure this out. Oh no, roll the first example so we could show it all. Okay. So for example, did Blitzer have more SSDs from last season that I could still find in the public panel, or are there more franchises in CSC as a whole? So I guess maybe use your arrow to indicate if the left side, let's just always say the left side, if it's higher or lower than the right side. Okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll give you guys 15 seconds to figure this out. Just put it on your little whiteboard, and then we'll initiate tally.
I feel like this is gonna be either a blowout or close.
You'd be shocked. Let's just put it that way.
Do I
All right,
make
5 seconds.
The theme music.
Oh no.
All right, Kono, flip those boards. Let's see those answers. Okay. So all of you think Blitzer had more SSDs than franchise, correct?
Yes.
He had to.
Every time I ever looked at SSDs, it's just Blitzer.
Yeah.
He had
literally.
less.
No.
He
Yeah.
actually had less. So
Those are
when
fake-
I was
fake
going through
numbers.
this last night, I was convinced that some of them had to have been nuked. They were so bad. The mods or admins were like, "No, we're cutting you off. Like it's not happening." But there are 17 Blitzer SSDs from last season. At least that's my very rudimentary count. And then there are a total of 20 franchises in CSC.
I honestly thought Blister's SSD was gonna blow it out of the water.
Yeah, same. Me
Bro,
too.
if you're counting the ones that were nuked, it's got to be
Oh, it would be
triple that number, man.
Yeah, it would not be
At
close.
least triple.
It would not be good. All right, so we've got an idea. So let's go to the next one.
All right.
Let's see. Okay. So days in the month of August, which this episode is airing in, versus the number of clean sweeps across every tier in Season 14 of playoffs. So obviously, I don't know how much attention you guys pay to the other tiers, but there are a lot of playoff games, especially between prospect and contender. But how many of those were clean sweeps? I'll give you guys 15 seconds now to think about it.
Interesting.
All right, 5. Okay. Let's see. Kono, flip them. Okay. So Mystery thinks that there are more days in August, and then Rhino and Eclipse think that there were less. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's reveal the answer.
There was in fact less days in August than there were.
Let's
number of
go.
Clean sweeps.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so-
crazy.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked, and let me pull up the schedule right now because I think when I was looking at it, like the entire one side of the bracket for recruit was basically a clean sweep all the way through.
Really?
Yeah, I think there was only one
Yeah.
in Premier. So yeah, so HG beat DRG 2-0 in Premier, and then there were a couple in Elite between UPS on their way to the trophy.
Yeah.
Chally was a lot of the opening matches. Actually, every single opening match was a sweep, and then there were a couple in the semis. Actually, both semifinals were a sweep. The final was a sweep. But if you look at like recruit,
Oh my god.
like HG was just taking names like Frog.
we got 2-0'd.
Yeah, and then it was just a slaughter all the way through. And then I mean, Prospect opening weekend was not pretty either in terms of if you want a close series.
There was a
So,
lot.
yeah.
That's
There was- yeah. It's kind of insane. Like you really think about it, it's like wow, like how many like series were actually close or what? But no, no, there were a lot of fucking sweeps. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Next
I
question.
guess I keep forgetting. Sorry to cut you off. I keep forgetting how many franchises there actually are.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's
obviously there's only 14 I think in Challenger. But yeah, I mean when you include the recruit, prospect, and contending franchises, I guess
There's a
quite
lot.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So I made this game show last night Number of players in Elite and Chally combined as of 8:45 Central. Here are some suspects if you want to look at some of the messages. We all love each other in Elite and Chally. Okay. Versus the total number of kills Zywoo had at IEM Cologne across all the maps he played. What do you think is higher? 15 seconds.
Oh.
Oh my god. What are these stats?
I'm trying to.
They're so out of the blue.
5 seconds. All right, let's see those answers.
Zywoo's my goat. He better not lose
Zywoo's
this.
gotta be higher,
I
man.
was just
He's my
thinking, 'cause
he's
I
my
think
goat. He better
there's
not
gotta be-
lose this.
There's got to be what, like 160 players between Chally and Elite.
So you guys all think that there are more kills Zywoo has than?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip it around.
Actual answer is.
You guys are wrong. Your
No
goat is
shot!
wrong.
No.
No shot.
Your
Oh
goat
my
is wrong.
god.
Just
What?
barely.
By 2?
By 2.
Dude.
I was like, when I saw this, like I was going through like basically every like just random tidbit of information possible, and I saw it. I was like, yeah, I'm so doing this.
Yo,
because-
254
How did you-
kills though.
I
How
mean,
did
that's
you
insane.
go across
That's
this, bro?
insane.
Yeah. I think Zywoo only played like, was it 9 maps, or it might have even been 8 when I looked
I don't
up
think it was
his-
that many. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I was thinking. The number I
crazy.
had in my head for Elite and Chally it was like 160 to 180, and it's absolutely possible for Zywoo to get that many kills in 8
Yeah.
maps.
yeah. So Zywoo played 13 maps, but a lot of them were blowouts. Like Furia only got 5 rounds combined against him in a best of 3. The FaZe series was close, but then 2-0 against Mouse, 2-0 against Saw. Saw only had 11 rounds total, and then obviously the best of 5 finals against Navi. He had some. Obviously, every map was above 20, but he had one map on the Mirage map. He was
Oh my
30 kills and
gosh.
27. But yeah,
Man.
nothing for the best tier in against the best tiers in CSC.
So good, dude.
That's crazy.
All right, let's take a look.
Next question.
Okay, so this is for Rhino and Eclipse mostly. Mystery, try and get it. So at least 8 games played in the regular season, mind you. I filtered out like any PFAs who just like absolutely in bozo mode. So who had more op kills per round? Prospects best oppers in Gold and Archer, or Recruits best oppers in Abe and Sapphire?
Oh, this one's easy.
I think this one. Yeah, I think this one might be. But let's see. 5 seconds. All right, let's see those answers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back in my
Yeah.
recruit, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Recruit is infested with op crutches, unfortunately.
I
Yeah,
know
we
for
are.
a fact. I know for a fact Scout did not have that many op kills, so I knew that brought it down.
Yeah,
a
I know
lot.
Sapphire popped off.
Sapphire
with
really
an
didn't have
op,
any business
yeah.
being in Recruit, honestly.
No,
So
no.
yeah, she's
dude.
really good.
No, yeah, and technically Sapphire's not even first in the tier on the regular season. It was actually Abe with 0.49. So, the oppers are, and if you notice, every single op crutch except for Scold, and I mean Scold is very close to earning himself a promotion if he plays at 15th, best like rating in the tier. But I mean, everyone got promoted, so don't ever let people tell you op crutches don't exist. Like they literally just prop themselves up with the barrel of that gun.
Ask Sasha from UPS. Analytical
you do it.
actually classified him as an op crutch.
Yeah, because that's what he is.
Because that's all he did.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, the next question.
Okay, so number of R8 kills Dewey Fan has so far in combines versus the number of American dollars you need to purchase Costco pumpkin pie. So I saw this yesterday at Costco. I was at Costco yesterday, and I looked at the pie case, and I looked at the number of R8 kills Dewey Fan has so far. Which one is higher?
This one's weird because prospect players are weird, man.
All I'm saying, he had 0 in the game I played with him.
Uh-oh.
He tried using it, but he had 0.
5 seconds.
I'm going off of that information.
I'm trying to help y'all out here.
Alright,
That's all I know. That's all I know.
I got faith in Dewey.
Okay,
I
so
do not.
Mystery and Eclipse think that you need more for Costco, and then Rhino has Dewey having more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be pissed if Dewey wins this.
Yeah, I mean, well, flip it.
Dewey does in
But
fact
no.
win this one.
No.
Dewey's got 10.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with him.
Yeah,
Why he didn't get any in my combine game,
he's
and
throwing
he
your
used
combine
it like 5 or 6 rounds.
game. You're throwing his combine game. All right. I think how many we got? 3 more or 2 more?
We have 3 more.
Oh, 3 more. Good lord. All right, let's keep it going.
Next one.
Okay. Have you seen my mascot? my little Keke cat.
Yep.
So how many Kekes do I have versus the pop-off performance Covey had to bring Abyss Walkers a trophy in Season 14 Recruit Grand Finals? Do you think I've got more or less Keke emotes than Covey did had an impact? 1-2-1, by the way. I'm even showing you the kill cams.
Yeah, Kobe popped.
Covey went crazy.
That grand final was really good.
Yeah. But are my emotes better or worse? 15 seconds.
And was that a best of 3?
It's a best of 3. I'll let you know they
Or
played
was
3
it?
maps.
3 maps? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 5 seconds. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Okay, everyone thinks I've got more Kekes.
Yeah.
And Kono, are they right?
They are, in fact, right with
They
90
are
Kekes.
90 of them.
It's such a dumb one. It had to be that.
I've got
Had to
90 of
be.
them. Dude, look at the slacking one, bro. Look at how happy he is not to do work.
He's so happy.
And then the computer one, he is not happy. All
He's
right.
very irritated.
Yeah, I named that one Mauled for a good reason.
Oh yeah.
Good name.
All right, let's see.
90.
Two left. Let's see what else we got.
Next
Okay.
question.
Total number of players last season, including PFAs, and let me put a disclaimer on this. As long
Oh
as you
my
played
God.
one game in the regular season, you count. Okay, so regular season only. Don't think about combines. Don't think about postseason. Versus the number of days since Farm Merge Valley has released. I don't know if you guys have been up merging your farms.
What has been the
I've
whole
Seen
freaking
people
wait for
playing it,
that?
I have no idea what it is.
I don't know
Seen
what the hell
everyone
that
in
is.
that. I don't either.
It's infesting the league. Okay, but as you see, it was launched on Facebook Gaming, so don't think Discord, think Facebook. Okay, how
the
many days has
Facebook.
it been? Yeah, how many days has it been since Farm Merge Valley released versus the total number of players in CSC during the regular season? 15 seconds.
This is an absolute complete guess for me.
It
I
has to
have
be.
no clue.
Everybody's merging their cows.
I just
Yeah.
flipped a coin.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. Okay. So everyone thinks that Farm Merge Valley has been out longer than CSC players. All
No,
right,
I
let's check-
think
No,
I think
I
Oh,
CSC
think there's more.
players.
I think there's more players.
Oh, there's more players. Okay, so
Yeah.
everyone thinks there's more players than there are. Okay.
All
All right. Kono, flip that. Let's
I
see.
went for farm.
Surely, right?
There
Oh!
was, in fact, more CSC players
Oh,
than there have been
Yeah.
days.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go
I found
CSC
a-
on top.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
We will not. Well, I guess Farm Merge Valley isn't really dividing us. It's more so uniting everyone in that little
yeah.
activity. All right. Last one. Last one.
We need a full channel for that.
I remember right at the start of it, the admins were like caught a little flat-footed. Like you could just merge wherever. Now I think they've quarantined it just to general.
Yeah, I think they did just the only game or other games.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, there's people merging in there right now. There's 6.
I,
Go, no, you're
I,
on
may,
it.
I may or may not be one of those 6.
Man of many talents.
He's merging during streaming.
All right, last question.
All right. Total number of dead chickens in Combine so far, rest in peace, versus the total number of kills the Pretty Penne had in Season 14 Chally Finals. So you can see over there, I took a screenshot this time. It was just a straight 2-0. But
Just UPS or overall?
Overall,
both total.
both
Total
teams.
between
Total
both
between
teams.
both teams.
Between both teams, yeah. Otherwise, you could do math. That's cheating. We don't do math here in CSC. We actually don't do a lot of thinking either. So,
My
all right,
boy
15
KMB
seconds.
was
Just
in
point and
there.
click.
yeah, just point and click.
My boy KMB was in Florida.
All right,
So he
10,
couldn't pop off.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, chickens.
All right, okay. So Mystery and Rhino think more chickens have died, and Eclipse thinks there were more kills. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Flip that back around.
All right. Correct answer is
Aw.
Hey, that's a lot of kills. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That is a lot of kills.
Yeah. It
I
was a
thought it'd
pretty
be close at least.
Yeah. It was a pretty close 2-0, and there were a lot of clutches, like 1v(x)s in that series. So the losing team it wasn't like a lot of just like, if I can borrow a Valorant term, like a lot of flawless aces. Or not even aces, just like flawless rounds. But it was a pretty bloody finals between UPS and HG. But that chicken count will only go up.
I'm gonna start contributing to it.
To the,
Well, I don't play many Inferno matches.
Are they only on Inferno, or are they anywhere else?
I think they're only on Inferno.
It's just
Okay.
Inferno.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that you want to play Inferno now.
I really don't though. That's the thing.
Inferno was our full-on first map ban.
Yeah,
Dang.
that map sucks.
I can't play that map.
I'm an Inferno enjoyer, I can't lie.
Oh,
Fair.
no.
I mean,
Well,
I think it's so boring to watch in pro though.
I don't understand how people can act like the map is good when you exchange 20 nades in the first 15 seconds over banana.
Take out
Wow.
Inferno, put back in overpass.
Yeah, take out.
Oh, I love Overpass.
No, I don't know. The map pool's got
I
problems.
love overpass.
I don't
I
think
think this
anyone's
is the
satisfied
worst
with the
map
current
pool
map.
we've had in a long time.
They need to redo Cobblestone
two.
and bring it back.
Yeah, we need cash back.
Yeah.
Crane and Cash.
And just to
That's
check,
what we
because this might affect whether or not I bring you back for a future episode. None of you wanted Dust 2 in the pool, right?
Hell no.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, good. Just making
Dust
sure.
2 is the only objectively bad map in the game. At
Yeah.
its core, it's a bad map. The only way they can fix Dust 2 is by completely deleting it and starting new.
True.
Okay. All right.
agree.
See, this is the propaganda machine that the weekly drop is really for. Like we just talk for like an hour or whatever. This is the real message. Like we're trying to influence the map pool. All right.
All in all,
Well,
we need Cobble.
yeah.
That's what we need.
Yep.
How long
Yep.
has Cobble been out? It feels like it's been like 7
Too
years.
long.
That will be
Sure, it's
every
not
match
7
day.
years.
Every match day will be freaking Gobble.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys all for coming on. I think it was a really, really fun episode. Hopefully, some Ds have been listening because, you know, I want to see some pop-offs next season.
100%.
Both from you guys, but also just from the incoming draft class. As a GM, it's always fun to just scout. I get into the regular season, then I go into hibernation. But just thanks again for coming on. Kono, thank you for producing. I hope your farm is going well. And yeah, I don't think I wrote the script for next week yet, so I have no clue what the hell we're going to talk about next week. But we're going to talk about something. So I will see you all next Saturday. Bye bye.
Appreciate the invite.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.